Right now, somewhere in the world, a person develops Alzheimer's disease every 3 seconds. That is not a made up number. That is real data from the World Health Organization. And here's what makes this even more shocking. Scientists have discovered that brains affected by Alzheimer's disease have one thing in common: they cannot use sugar properly. Some researchers now call Alzheimer's disease type 3 diabetes. Yes, you heard that right. The same blood sugar problems that cause diabetes might be slowly damaging your brain right now without you even knowing it. But here's the good news. There's something simple you can do today that costs nothing. It does not require any special pills or expensive treatments, and it might be one of the most powerful ways to protect your brain as you age. What is this simple thing? Fasting. Now, before you click away, thinking this is just another fasting video, let me tell you something. What I am about to share with you goes far beyond weight loss. We are talking about how skipping meals in the right way can literally change the fuel your brain uses. We are talking about a special protein that acts like miracle grow for your brain cells. We are talking about your brain's ability to rewire itself and stay sharp even as you get older. If you or someone you love is worried about memory loss, brain fog, or Alzheimer's disease, this video might be one of the most important videos you ever watched. So, what exactly is the connection between fasting and Alzheimer's prevention? To understand this, we need to first understand what goes wrong in an Alzheimer's brain. And once you see how the pieces fit together, everything will make sense. You see, your brain is like a supercomputer. It is the most complex organ in your entire body. It controls everything you do: your thoughts, your memories, your movements, your emotions, everything. And just like any machine, your brain needs fuel to work properly. Now, here is the problem. Your brain is extremely hungry. Even though it only weighs about 3 pounds, it uses about 20% of all the energy your body produces. That is a lot of fuel for such a small organ. And for most of your life, your brain runs on one main fuel source: glucose. That is just a fancy word for sugar. Every time you eat bread, rice, pasta, fruit, or any carbohydrates, your body breaks them down into glucose. This glucose travels through your blood and enters your brain cells. Your brain cells then burn this glucose to create energy, and this energy keeps your brain working properly. But what happens when this system breaks down? What happens when your brain cells can no longer use glucose efficiently? This is where the Alzheimer's story begins. Scientists have made a shocking discovery in recent years. When they study the brains of people with Alzheimer's disease, they find something very disturbing. These brains cannot use glucose properly. The brain cells are literally starving, even when there is plenty of sugar in the blood. Imagine you have a car with a full tank of gas, but the engine is broken and cannot burn the fuel. The gas is right there, but the car cannot move. This is exactly what happens in an Alzheimer's brain. The glucose is available, but the brain cells cannot use it. This problem does not happen overnight. It starts slowly, sometimes decades before any memory problems appear. Your brain cells gradually become resistant to insulin. Insulin is the hormone that helps glucose enter your cells. When your cells become resistant to insulin, glucose cannot get inside properly, and your brain starts to starve. This is why some researchers now call Alzheimer's disease type 3 diabetes. It is essentially a form of diabetes that affects the brain specifically. And just like regular diabetes is linked to diet and lifestyle, brain diabetes might be preventable too. But here's where the story gets interesting. Your brain has a backup fuel system, a completely different energy source that does not require insulin at all. This backup fuel can bypass all the broken machinery and feed your starving brain cells directly. What is this magical backup fuel? Ketones. Let me explain what ketones are. In simple terms, when you stop eating for a while, your body runs out of glucose. But your body is smart. It does not just give up. Instead, your liver starts breaking down fat and converts it into molecules called ketones. These ketones then travel through your blood and reach your brain. Now, here is the amazing part. Your brain loves ketones. In fact, some scientists believe ketones might actually be a better fuel for your brain than glucose. When your brain runs on ketones, it produces energy more efficiently. There is less waste and less damage to your brain cells. Think about it like this. Glucose is like burning wood in a fireplace. It works, but it creates smoke and leaves behind ashes. Ketones are like burning natural gas. It is cleaner and more efficient. Less mess, less damage. Studies have shown that ketones can enter brain cells even when glucose cannot. Remember those Alzheimer's brains that cannot use sugar? Well, many of them can still use ketones just fine. The backup fuel system still works even when the main system is broken. This is huge. This means that if we can get the brain to run on ketones instead of glucose, we might be able to bypass the whole insulin resistance problem. We might be able to feed those starving brain cells and keep them alive. Dr. Stephen Canan is a researcher from Canada who has studied this extensively. His research shows that the Alzheimer's brain has a glucose problem, not an energy problem. When you give these brains ketones, they can use them perfectly well. The machinery for burning ketones is still intact. So how do you get your brain to switch to ketones? The answer is simple. You stop eating for a while. When you fast, your body naturally starts producing ketones. Usually this starts happening around 12 to 16 hours after your last. The longer you fast, the more ketones your body produces. This is one of the main reasons why fasting might help prevent Alzheimer's disease. By regularly switching your brain to ketone fuel, you give your brain cells a break from the glucose struggle. You clean up the metabolic mess, you keep the energy flowing, but ketones are just the beginning. Fasting does something else to your equally amazing brain. It triggers the production of a special protein that scientists call miracle grow for the brain. BDNF stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. I know that sounds complicated, but let me explain it simply. BDNF is a protein that your brain produces, and this protein does something incredible. It helps your brain cells grow, survive, and connect with each other. Shelf. Think of BDNF like fertilizer for a garden. When you have plenty of BDNF, your brain cells are healthy and strong. They grow new connections easily. They communicate better with each other. Your memory improves. Your thinking becomes sharper. Your mood gets better. But when BDNF levels are low, the opposite happens. Brain cells struggle to survive. Connections between cells weaken and die. Memory problems start to appear. Depression becomes more common. The brain literally starts to shrink. Here is what researchers have discovered. People with Alzheimer's disease have very low levels of BDNF in their brains. Scientists are not sure if low BDNF causes Alzheimer's or if Alzheimer's causes low BDNF. But either way, BDNF levels matter a lot for brain health. Now here is the exciting part. Fasting dramatically increases BDNF production in the brain. When you fast, your brain goes into a mild stress state. But this is actually a good kind of stress. It is called hormetic stress. Your brain responds to this stress by producing more BDNF to protect itself. Studies in animals have shown that intermittent fasting can increase BDNF levels by 50% or more. That is a massive increase. And human studies are showing similar promising results. Dr. Mark Madsen is a neuroscientist who spent decades studying fasting and the brain. He worked at the National Institute on Aging in the United States. His research consistently shows that intermittent fasting boosts BDNF and improves brain function. He believes that fasting might be one of the most powerful things we can do to prevent brain diseases. When you fast regularly, you are essentially giving your brain a powerful dose of fertilizer. You are helping new brain cells grow. You are strengthening the connections between existing cells. You are building a more resilient brain that can better resist damage and disease. And this leads us to another amazing benefit of fasting, something called neuroplasticity. For a long time, scientists believed that the adult brain could not change. They thought that once you reached adulthood, your brain was fixed. No new brain cells, no new connections. What you had was what you got. But we now know this is completely wrong. Your brain is actually very flexible. It can grow new cells. It can form new connections. It can reorganize itself based on your experiences. This ability to change is called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is incredibly important for preventing Alzheimer's. The more flexible your brain is, the better it can adapt to damage. Even if some brain cells die, a flexible brain can rewire itself and find new pathways. It can work around the damage and keep functioning. People with high neuroplasticity tend to maintain their mental abilities longer, even if they develop some brain changes associated with Alzheimer's. Their brains have more backup systems, more alternative routes, more resilience. Fasting appears to boost neuroplasticity in several ways. First, the ketones produced during fasting provide clean energy that helps brain cells function better. Second, the increased BDNF we just talked about directly promotes the growth of new connection. Third, fasting triggers a process called autophagy. Autophagy is your body's way of cleaning up damaged cells and cellular garbage. When you fast, your cells start recycling old and broken parts. They clear out the junk that has been building up. This cleanup process is essential for brain health because the brain is very sensitive to the accumulation of damaged protein. In Alzheimer's disease, sticky proteins called amyloid plaques and tau tangles build up in the brain. These protein clumps damage brain cells and block communication between them. Autophagy helps clear away these dangerous proteins before they can cause too much damage. When you eat constantly throughout the day, your body never gets a chance to do this deep cleaning. But when you fast, you flip the switch from growth mode to cleanup mode. Your brain gets to take out the garbage and repair the damage. This is why regular fasting might help prevent the protein buildup that leads to Alzheimer's. You are giving your brain regular opportunities to clean house and stay healthy. Now, I want to take a quick moment to ask you something. If you are finding this information valuable, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the Core Health channel. Just hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you never miss a new video. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you are learning something new. And if you know someone worried about their brain health or memory, please share this video with them. You might be helping them more than you know. Okay, now let us continue with the science. Scientists have been studying the connection between fasting and brain health for decades now, and the evidence keeps getting stronger. Let me share some of the most important findings with you. Research on animals has shown remarkable results. Mice and rats that practice intermittent fasting live longer than animals that eat whenever they want. But more importantly, these fasting animals maintain better brain function as they age. They perform better on memory tests. They have less brain inflammation. They have more BDNF. They have fewer of the protein plaques associated with Alzheimer's. One famous study from the National Institute on Aging compared three groups of mice. One group ate whenever they wanted, one group ate a calorie-restricted diet every day, and one group practiced intermittent fasting, eating every other day. The intermittent fasting group showed the best brain protection. Their brains stayed healthier and younger than those of both other groups. Human studies are also showing promising results. Although we need more research, studies have found that people who practice intermittent fasting show improvements in memory, concentration, and mental clarity. Brain scans reveal better connectivity between different brain regions. Blood tests show reduced inflammation and improved metabolic markers. Dr. Dale Brazen is a neurologist who has developed a comprehensive approach to preventing and even reversing cognitive decline. Fasting is one of the key components of his program. He has documented cases of patients with early Alzheimer's symptoms who improve their cognitive function using lifestyle interventions, including fasting. Population studies are also interesting. Researchers have noticed that in cultures where periodic fasting is common, rates of Alzheimer's disease tend to be lower. No, this does not prove that fasting prevents Alzheimer's because many other factors are involved, but it is consistent with the laboratory findings. The longest running study on human aging is the Baltimore Longitudinal Study of Aging. Researchers from this study have found that people who consume fewer calories and practice some form of dietary restriction tend to have better cognitive function as they age. This supports the idea that less eating might mean better brain aging. Of course, we need more long-term human studies to prove that fasting prevents Alzheimer's. But the evidence we have so far is very encouraging. The animal studies, The human clinical trials, the population observations, the biological mechanisms, everything points in the same direction. So how do you actually put this knowledge into practice? Let me give you some practical guidance on using fasting to protect your brain. First, let us talk about different types of fasting. The most popular and easiest to maintain is called time-restricted eating or intermittent fasting. This is where you limit your eating to a specific window of time each day. The most common version is the 16-8 method. You fast for 16 hours and eat all your meals within an 8-hour window. For example, you might eat your first meal at noon and finish your last meal by 8 in the evening. Then you fast from 8 at night until noon the next day during the fasting period. You can drink water, black coffee, or plain tea, no calories, no sweeteners, nothing that triggers an insulin response. The 16-8 pattern is enough to start producing ketones, boost BDNF, and trigger some autophagy. For many people, this is a sustainable long-term practice that can provide significant brain protection. If you want more benefits, you can try longer fasting windows. The 24 method is where you eat within just 4 hours each day. Some people practice OMAD, which stands for one meal a day. These longer fasts produce more ketones and more autophagy, but they are harder to maintain and not suitable for everyone. Another option is periodic extended fasting. This is where you fast for 24 to 72 hours once or twice per month. Extended fasts provide deeper autophagy and more intense cellular cleanup. However, extended fasting should be done carefully and ideally under medical supervision, especially if you have any health conditions. The best approach is to start slowly and build up gradually. If you have never fasted before, begin with a 12-hour overnight fast. Just finish dinner by 7 or 8 in the evening and do not eat breakfast until 7 or 8 the next morning. Most people can do this easily because they are sleeping for most of the fasting period. After a week or two, try extending your fast to 14 hours, then 16 hours. Let your body adapt. Most people find that the hunger they expected is much less than they feared. Your body adjusts. The hunger hormones recalibrate, and soon fasting becomes natural and even enjoyable. Here are some important tips to make fasting easier and more effective. Stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water throughout your fasting period. Dehydration can make you feel hungry when you are actually just thirsty. Water also helps your body flush out toxins and supports the autophagy process. Get enough sleep. Sleep is when your brain does most of its cleanup and repair work. Poor sleep undermines many of the benefits of fasting. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night. When you do eat, eat well. Fasting is powerful, but it is not magic. You cannot eat junk food during your eating window and expect great results. Focus on whole foods, vegetables, quality proteins, healthy fats. Avoid processed foods and added sugars. These foods support brain health and enhance the benefits of fasting. Be consistent. The benefits of fasting come from regular practice over time. Fasting once in a while is good, but fasting regularly is much better. Try to maintain a consistent eating schedule on most days of the week. Listen to your body. While some discomfort is normal when you start fasting, extreme symptoms are not. If you feel very dizzy, weak, or unwell, break your fast and eat something. Fasting should make you feel better over time, not worse. Consider combining fasting with exercise. Physical activity also boosts BDNF and promotes brain health. Even a simple daily walk can make a significant difference. Exercise and fasting together are more powerful than either one alone. Manage your stress. Chronic stress damages the brain and counteracts many benefits of fasting. Find healthy ways to relax and decompress. Meditation, deep breathing, time in nature, and social connection. These all support brain health. One more important point. Fasting is not appropriate for everyone. Pregnant women should not fast. People with a history of eating disorders should be very careful. Those with certain medical conditions or on certain medications need medical guidance. If you have any concerns, talk to your doctor before starting a fasting program. Let me step back and put this all together for you. Alzheimer's disease is not something that happens suddenly. It develops over decades. The changes in the brain begin 20 or 30 years before any symptoms appear. This means that what you do in your 40s and 50s might determine whether you develop Alzheimer's in your 70s and 80s. This is actually good news. It means you have time to take action. It means you have the power to influence your brain's future. And fasting is one of the most powerful tools you have. When you practice regular fasting, you are doing multiple good things for your brain at once. You are switching your brain to cleaner ketone fuel. You are boosting BDNF production for brain cell growth and protection. You are enhancing neuroplasticity so your brain stays flexible and adaptable. You are triggering autophagy to clean out damaged proteins and cellular garbage. You are reducing inflammation that damages brain cells. You are improving insulin sensitivity to help your brain use glucose better when you do eat. All of these benefits work together. They reinforce each other, and over time, they add up to significant brain protection. But fasting is not the only thing you should do. Think of brain health, like a three-legged stool. Fasting is one leg, but you also need the other two legs to have a stable foundation. The second leg is physical activity. Exercise is incredibly good for the brain. It increases blood flow to the brain. It boosts BDNF just like fasting does. It promotes the growth of new brain cells. It reduces inflammation. Aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate exercise most days. Walking counts. Dancing counts. Gardening counts. Just move your body regularly. The third leg is mental and social engagement. Your brain needs stimulation to stay healthy. Learn new things. Have meaningful conversations. Do puzzles and games. Read books. Take up new hobbies. Social isolation and mental boredom are risk factors for Alzheimer's. Stay connected and keep your brain active. When you combine fasting with exercise and mental engagement, you create a powerful synergy. Each element enhances the others. Together, they provide comprehensive brain protection that no single intervention can match. Let me leave you with this thought. Your brain is precious. It holds everything that makes you who you are. Your memories, your personality, your ability to connect with the people you love. Protecting your brain is one of the most important things you can do. The link between fasting and Alzheimer's prevention is one of the most exciting discoveries in modern neuroscience. We now understand that your brain can use ketones as fuel when glucose is not working properly. We know that fasting boosts BDNF, the protein that helps brain cells grow and survive. We understand that fasting promotes neuroplasticity, keeping your brain flexible and resilient. And we have seen the research showing that fasting triggers cleanup processes that remove dangerous proteins from the brain. This knowledge gives you power. The power to take action. The power to protect your brain starting today. You do not need expensive supplements. You do not need complicated medical treatments. You just need to give your body regular breaks from eating. Start with a simple 16-hour overnight fast. Pay attention to how you feel. Gradually build up your fasting practice over time. Combine it with exercise and mental stimulation. And be consistent. Will fasting guarantee that you never get Alzheimer's? No, nothing can guarantee that. Genetics and other factors play a role too, but the science strongly suggests that fasting can significantly reduce your risk. And even if it does not prevent Alzheimer's completely, it can help you maintain better brain function for longer. You have the knowledge now. The question is, what will you do with it? Will you take action to protect your brain, or will you let this information fade away and continue with business as usual? I encourage you to start today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today, try a simple 12-hour overnight fast tonight. Feel what it is like. See that you can do it. Then build from there. Your brain is counting on you. The people who love you are counting on you, and your future self is counting on you. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe to Core Health. If you have not already, hit the like button to help this video reach more people who need to hear this message. And leave a comment below sharing your thoughts or your experience with fasting. If you'd like to learn more about fasting and its numerous health benefits, be sure to check out the other videos on this channel. We have a lot more to share with you. Take care of your brain, take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.